Welcome to Time Savers Shorts. You've got just enough time to sit back, neck a cup of tea and enjoy these tips, brought to you by Joe Parry from Windermere St Anne's School.
We all have parts of our jobs that we really hate, but actually that's what work's about. But it's probably about managing these jobs and making sure that they don't become the elephant in the corner of the room. So what about trying some of these tips? If it's a long extended job, divide it up into manageable chunks and then put one of those chunks on your list of things to do each day. That way you're going to feel you're achieving each day and you're getting towards your goal. Do tasks you really don't like as soon as possible. That way they're off the to-do list and they're not wasting any of your emotional energy. If you've got a colleague who's absolutely brilliant at doing phone calls, well, why not share your talents? What if they made some phone calls for you and in return you'll put up a display? You're using the best qualities of each other. That's not a bad thing. That's good management. And finally, please reward yourselves. So that big job is off the to-do list. You're not going to need to think about it again. So why not go out for dinner tonight? Open a lovely bottle of wine, perhaps even a new Ferrari.
My big tip for planning would be for you to incorporate VARK, which is Visual, Audio and Kinesthetic way of learning. Doing this means that you spread the differentiation and everyone gets the opportunity to understand what it is that you're talking about, and obviously you want them to learn without having to spend specific time or too much time with an individual going over what you actually taught at the very start.
Nikki, planning, that's a real time sapper, isn't it? How much of your time do you spend planning in a week?
Planning sometimes is in non-contact time for me. It's sometimes after school, in the evenings, at weekends. It's difficult to say really because it's kind of all over the place.
Do you have a regime? Or do you
Yeah.
just find the time wherever in the week?
There's times in my week where I would say I just can't plan. I just find it really difficult to concentrate at those times. I really like to plan on Sunday afternoons and evenings. I feel focused and ready for the week ahead, and that's the best time for me, really.
I think that's really positive. I think knowing yourself and knowing when you work best is a real time saver, because to use times when you are not effective, you're going to spend double the amount of time on the job. I mean, if Sunday's your time for planning, my suggestion would be to plan the whole week ahead.
Yeah.
And actually break down those tasks you've got to do. I think you're a bit like me. If you know what your jobs are and you're focused, you'll not waste time, you'll get straight down to them.
Yeah.
And I think using your non-contact time is key. I think we're not disciplined as teachers to use our non-contact time as effectively. That's part of the working day. And if you've got a time where you want to finish, then you're going to have to use your non-contact time well. Do you find it's useful? Are you disciplined with your non-contact time?
I might be disciplined,
Right.
but I can sit down in the computer room and I'm focused and I'm ready to go, and a colleague will come along, sit down, and they might want to talk about something they've done at the weekend, and I find it really difficult to kind of say, hang on a minute, I just really need to get on with this work. I don't want to appear impolite.
Yes, I know, and I do understand that. So maybe you need to think about not putting yourself in that position. If you know that you've got a job you've got to do, that you've got to be focused on, and you need no interruptions, then stay in your lab or find a little corner of the school somewhere to work in. And then if people don't know where you are, they can't interrupt you. And I think that's good use of your non-contact time.
Yeah.
But if you're planned and you know what you're doing on each night, then, you know, maybe there's a couple of nights in the week where you can go out for a meal or go to the cinema. And I think that makes you a better teacher in the end. So
Yeah,
I think...
and I mean, ultimately, I find that if I am very well planned for my lessons, I enjoy those lessons, I feel positive, and it leads to a better week all round, really, and a more efficient week. So it works.
So you're saving time there because your good planning is giving exactly what you want to the student.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know you do that brilliantly.